Tara na't simulan ng inyong umaga sa mga magagandang refleksyon tungkol sa ating buhay at pananampalataya. Kasama sina Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, Father J. Boy Gonzales at Father Nono Alfonso ng Kapisanan ni Jesus, Father Cali Llamado ng Manila Cathedral at Binibining Risa Singson Kaupeng ng Light of Jesus Community dito sa Pambansang sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Palalimin ang kamalayan sa mga isyong napapanahon. Makisangkot at makiisa kasama ang simbahang lingkod ng bayan. Ang Socio-Political Apostolate ng Kapisanan ni Jesus. Ito ang Kwentuhang Bayan mula alas 11 ng umaga tuwing Biyernes dito lang sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Dahil naniniwala kami na posible ang isang mas mabuting lipunan at maaari itong simulan sa isang kwentuhan. Radyo Katipunan is now online. See our live feed on facebook.com/Radyo Katipunan. Check out our Instagram and our Twitter at Radyo Katipunan and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Radyo Katipunan FM for more exclusive content. Mga Katipuneros, it's time to level up! Your talk variety program showcasing the best in media and other fields as we feature the most loved personalities and the best practices of what we truly refer to as Magis. Together with multi-awarded multimedia guru Mr. Noel Ferrer, let's all level up every Fridays from 3 to 6 p.m. here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Want to find out more about the famed org community of the Ateneo?
Yeah.
Wondering what projects and initiatives our student organizations are currently up to? Curious to hear the perspectives and motivations of the different people that make up the org community? Tara na't magkwentuhan! Kwentuhang MVP takes you to the vibrant and passionate organization community of the Ateneo de Manila. Tune in every Friday as we catch up with our student leaders and our organizations and find out how they're continually pushing forth with their advocacies. Kwentuhang MVP, taking the MVP to you.
To listen to music that uplifts the soul, follow jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube. Our music is also available on iTunes and Deezer.
Meron? Ano nga ba ang meron? Paano nga bang mabuhay ng tapat sa meron? Don't you wish you can relive your philo classes? The terror teachers? The terrible oral exams? Or the even terrifying but liberating and life-changing aha moments? Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Here's your chance! Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Kasama ang mga pilosopong sina Jovi Miroy at Ron Capinding. Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Leaping upward, leaping forward. Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Leaping to greater heights, to greater wisdom, to greater magis. Lundag na, Ateneo! Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.
The Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpa at tama. Buhay atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng pwera. Radyo Katipunan, Radyo Katipunan, Radyo Katipunan,
Meron? Ano nga ba ang meron? Paano nga bang mabuhay ng tapat sa meron? Don't you wish you can relive your philo classes? The terror teachers? The terrible oral exams? Or the even terrifying but liberating and life-changing aha moments? Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Here's your chance! Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Kasama ang mga pilosopong sina Jovi Miroy at Ron Capinding. Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Leaping upward, leaping forward. Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Leaping to greater heights, to greater wisdom, to greater magis. Lundag na, Ateneo!
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes. So this is Jovi Miroy. Without Sir Ron Capinding again because he has work with the as administrator. So, but this is an exciting show we are going to have, dear viewers and listeners. It's such an honor and a privilege for us to have this interview, this show, because this afternoon we are featuring a newly ordained national artist, and how he is possibly related to the Ateneo, we shall find out later. But he is a professor, university professor at the University of the Philippines. Our show this afternoon is dedicated to the life and work and art of Dr. Gemino Abad. He is, I don't know what else to say except that he is the new national artist for literature. He has many books, which he might talk to us about later, but I'm holding one of his books right here, so, The Habit of Shores. It's very important. I think it's also key to his becoming a national artist. We'll ask him. Joining us this afternoon will be our intern, Muki Borja, who will ask questions about Bad's poetry and writing and about the writer's life, and also James Wong. Now, without further ado, let me introduce you. Let me show you. Let us all welcome Dr. Gemino, national artist for literature, Dr. Gemino Abad. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for honoring us and gracing our show.
I am myself quite honored to be invited.
You are probably the second national artist that I'm able to talk to. The first one was Badong Bernal. Yes. So, sir, how do you feel? Congratulations once again for being hailed as a national artist. How does it feel? Tell us about how you got to find out about the award?
Well, I got notified that I was nominated. Yeah, and the nomination was approved. Yeah, so I was.
So you were nominated also in the last cycle of nominations, or you were nominated before?
I think I was before. Yes. Yeah.
So how are you dealing with it? Because it seems that it's a recognition of your body of work, but also it's an encouragement to do more work, right? What is the national artist? What does it entail now, sir? From you na, so that we get the right information.
Well, I suppose whether or not I got the award, I would continue writing. There's nothing more that I would like to do other than teach. Creative writing. the university. I would still continue. Besides, the university, all my life has been very supportive of my research, my writing, and there's always the UP Press that would publish whatever I had to show. So it was, I'm just very blessed with all the support that I get. Yeah.
Yes, but we remember. So I'm holding your anthology now, but we also remember your book, the formal approach to lyric poetry.
Yeah.
That's your dissertation, right, sir? So could you give us a bit of what's this story of how you started? Because I know that you come from a long line of writers, right?
Well, my father, yes.
Yeah.
My father was a writer in Spanish.
Yes, and his novel is entitled the last. What is the title again, sir?
Right now it does not come. It does not. It does
Las
not come
Ovejas
load.
de Natan. Las Ovejas de Natan.
Oh,
And,
yes. Yeah.
But you come from Cebu. You come from Cebu.
Yeah, I grew up in Cebu. I was born in Manila, Santa Ana, but it was the Japanese occupation. We fled to Cebu. Yeah, and I grew up there in Barili and Dumanhog and Cebu City. Yeah.
And when did you start? What was the first thing that you wrote? Do you remember the first thing that you ever wrote and got recognized for it or got published? What made you decide that you can be a writer like your dad?
Well, I suppose of course I got published in some magazines like the Free Press and other weeklies. And in my first collection, I called it a Fugitive Emphasis. It was first published by the Diliman Review before it became a book.
Oh, wow.
The press, yeah. I guess those would be my earliest writings that I collected from the other magazines where they were first published. Yeah.
So how old were you when you started publishing poetry or when you started writing poetry?
I don't quite know.
Was it in high school or in college?
I was already writing in high school. Yeah, and my teachers were very encouraging in UP High School and in UP Los Baños, where I first studied for agriculture. I thought I was going to be a farmer.
Oh.
Because because at that time I admired Robert Frost, who was a poet.
I see.
He was a farmer. And then in Los Baños, I had good friends there. We all wrote, we all took charge of Green and Blue. That was the campus newspaper or magazine. Yeah, we were all staff writers there. Yeah, so that's how it's all developed that way. And then one of my best friends there, Joe Naglibot, he decided to enter the Jesuit seminary. And said, I think I will join you there. Yeah, because
so you joined the Jesuits, or
yes, I was ordained as a Jesuit.
You were ordained.
Yes, I was a Jesuit for 3 years, novitiate and the juniorate. Yeah, I had to wait for the Pope to release me from my vows when I decided to leave, because I thought that maybe this is not for me either, not agriculture, not the priesthood, maybe creative writing. So I left the Jesuit order with the permission of the Pope. I had to be released from my vows, and I entered UP. I entered UP Diliman. Yeah, and that started it. I think that started it. All my teachers were very encouraging. NVM Gonzalez, Franz Arceliana, and Leonard Casper. He was an American writer, and he was teaching in UP. Yeah, they were very encouraging. So that's how it developed. Yeah.
So if you don't mind, so I would like to follow in the footsteps of Dr. Fernandez. I don't know if if there's been an interview, a la writers in their milieu of you, no? Let us go back to that time that you wanted to become a farmer. Was it because that you had a farm? You had vast tracts of land, or was it in view of nation building, or was it in view of what was the impetus for your desire to become a farmer?
I wanted to please my father. My father comes from a farming family. They were farmers in Cebu.
But he was also a writer.
Yes.
So that was the time when there were still gentlemen farmers.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I thought I would please my father by becoming a farmer. Although my model was Robert Frost, who was a farmer himself. Yeah. Yeah.
And what made you say that that farming wasn't for you?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it just dawned on me. It just dawned on me. Perhaps it's not for me. Yeah. After 2 years in Los Baños, I thought I don't think I should go on with it. No, I was not flunking my subjects. I was doing well. Yeah, more or less well enough. Yeah, but I was not happy. Yeah.
You were not happy, and then you thought you'd become a priest.
Yes, I thought.
That's quite a jump, sir. That's quite a jump from.
That's right.
Were questions of meaning?
You know why I wanted to be a Jesuit? Because I had Father Ortiz and I had Father O'Brien. There were Jesuit chaplains in UP before. Yeah, and there were Father Ortiz especially, but also Father O'Brien. Yeah, so they were my models also. Yeah, so that's why I thought maybe I should be a Jesuit also.
Can I ask you what's the most memorable thing about those 3 years as a Jesuit?
Yeah. The one thing I learned was self-discipline. No?
All right.
Yeah, because it was like we were in the army. But every hour of the day was accounted for. Every hour of the day. An hour for meditation, an hour for taking care of the garden, an hour for walking, walking for exercise, and so forth. An hour for the mass, an hour for meditation in the morning, meditation in the evening. You know, it was a very disciplined kind of, very disciplined. No? And there's one thing I will always remember. I learned how to reflect. No, I learned how to reflect. I learned how to reflect is to go inside yourself and ask yourself, who am I? What am I? Who am I? You go inside yourself. Self-knowledge is the most difficult work of all. The most difficult work of all. Self-knowledge. You will never be humbugged in your life if you have self-knowledge. You will never be humbugged. There are 1 million other people, alive and dead, who are better than you are. If you have self-knowledge, you will never be humbled.
Yes. So that's very philosophical. So it seems that that's really something that marks somebody who enters the
Yeah.
Jesuits or probably takes the Ateneo. Where did you take classes in Ateneo also, or
Latin
like
and Greek. Latin and Greek.
Latin and Greek?
Yes, we had Latin and Greek. We had to know Latin and we had to know Greek. Yeah, that was part of the discipline of the mind. Yeah.
So do you remember your Latin and Greek?
Yes. In
Oh,
fact,
yeah.
that is why I'm very, very obsessed with language. Yeah. We are our words, and all our words speak true. Yeah?
Wow.
Yeah. There's a poet who said, Gertrude Stein said, a rose is a rose is a rose. A gumamela is a gumamela is a gumamela. All our words speak true. We are our words. We invented the language. So if the nature of the word is truth saying, what is our nature? What is our being? Truth seeking. Truth seeking. That is human nature. Yeah. So only
Amazing.
the liar, the dealer of fake news, they corrupt language. They corrupt language and they corrupt their own nature, their own being as human being. We have a
Right.
saying.
Before we get to that, but then, so that's really the Ignatian way, right? Reflection, and then your reflection led you to your vows, and then the juniorate where you study writing, I suppose, right? In the juniorate,
Yeah.
and still, then you thought, this is not my path, and then you left, and then you went to UP. Was that a big jump from why not Ateneo? Why UP? Why?
Yeah. My high school was in UP.
Yes.
My high school was in FEU because my father was working teaching in FEU. The UP got him to be chair of the Spanish department when it became a law that Spanish should be taught in college. So UP pulled my papa out of FEU to be chair to establish the Department of Spanish in UP. So I finished my high school in UP.
I see.
Yeah. So from high school, diretso na sa UP. Yeah. UP.
So you also studied college in UP.
Well, 2 years in UP Los Baños.
Yes.
As I told you. I wanted to place my papa. It didn't work out. So I transferred to UP Diliman. Yeah. No, I did not transfer to UP Diliman. I went to the Jesuit order from UP Los Baños.
So was that like a kind of 180-degree turn from the Jesuit institution to the state college, the state university?
Yeah. From the Jesuit order to the university. Yeah.
And you stayed there, and you stayed there
up to now. Soon after graduation, I during my student days in UP, majoring in creative writing after the Jesuit order, I became UPSCA president. Yeah. So I joined UPSCA from the Jesuit order. I joined UPSCA. I became UPSCA president. There, I enjoyed myself as UPSCA president. And there I met my wife. She was my treasurer. She was treasurer of UPSCA I was UPSCA president. So up to now, she is my treasurer and my treasurer.
Wow, you're a real poet. Let me call on Mookie. Mookie, do you have a question? Because I'm going to plug my charger. Mookie, you want to ask Dr. Abad a question?
Hi, good afternoon po. I just wanted to ask because you mentioned because I was reading some of your poems a while back for preparation for this episode, and I like how your poems are so descriptive when it comes to the topic or whatever you're talking about. So it can be family or context. So in a way, what I'm trying to say is did your past of like knowing how to reflect on things influence how you wrote not just your poems but also your books, and how you, because so you obviously have a gift of like describing things very well. It's like super succinct. So
what was the poem that you read?
I read Toys. That was the poem that really that was the favorite of mine when I read it, Toys, because it was really so descriptive and it was like so original the way you wrote it. So and yeah, I just wanted to know more about like how you came up with the concept of the poem.
Yeah. The poem, if you see, I am very interested in language, and the writer's best friend is a dictionary. Because in order to write well, you have to have an adequate mastery of the language. I cannot write Cebuano, although I speak Cebuano. I can understand Cebuano, but I cannot write Cebuano. I do not have enough mastery of the language. I can understand Tagalog, I can speak Tagalog, but I cannot write very well in Tagalog. I do not have enough mastery of the language. So that's the first requirement of any writer, an adequate enough mastery of the language. Because you know why? Any literary work, whether it is poem or short story, it is work. It is work of language, and it is work of the imagination. You know what? You work the language. The poem, the short story, is not written in any language. It is wrought from a language. It is shaped. It is created from a language, forged from a language. No, that's writing. No, you don't write in a language. You write from a language. You draw from the language your thought, your feeling. You look inside yourself. No, you know my mga kaibigan. Kaibigan. Language is precious. Any language is precious. The human being, invented the language. Every living animal has a language of its own. Birds have their own language, right? Lions, dogs, cats, roosters, they have their own language. No, they communicate. No, they converse. So also, now, you know what language is? You know, when you speak, where are you drawing from? You are drawing from your mind, you are drawing from your heart. Thought and feeling. What is thought? What is feeling? That is your consciousness. Your consciousness of what is real, what is true, what is right, what is just. Consciousness. Kaibigan, you look up the word consciousness in the dictionary. It is related to the word conscience, sense. Without language, we make no sense. We make no meaning without language. That's consciousness. What is true, what is right, what is just, what is real, that's your consciousness. Consciousness is your soul. You are, I am very struck by our gospel when it says, in the beginning is the Word, and the Word is God. Can you imagine that? In the beginning is the Word, but language is not just words. What is the language of music? What is the language of painting? What is the language of sculpture? What is the language of theater, performance, drama, performance? That's language. No, gestures, facial expression, that's language. Whistling is language. Whistling, some people just whistle and they understand each other. Yeah, sound. Yeah, we are our words. We are our words. Every word speaks true. A rose is a rose is a rose. If the nature of the word is truth saying, the human nature, human being, your nature is truth saying. The liar, only the liar, the spreader of fake news, only the liar wastes his nature. There.
Right. So, sir, you decided to become a poet. Poet immediately. You didn't write short stories or drama or.
I wrote short stories and poems. Yeah, but not play. Yeah, not the play. Only the short story and the essay. The essay is also yung parang the informal essay. You talk about yourself, biography, personal sketch. You talk about your experiences. It's not a short story. It's an essay. Yeah, that also is literary work. Yeah, you draw from your consciousness.
So
Yeah.
for just to how did you make that executive decision finally? This is for me. From being a farmer to a cleric, and then it's kind of strange, right? Then you decided to become a writer. But of course, your dad kasi was also a writer, so that's not too far fetched. But how did you make that decision? What made you say, "Oh, this is it na"?
Yeah. Well, it's also writing and teaching. Yeah, they go together. I mean, for me, because I teach literature, I teach creative writing. Yeah, so they go together. Yeah, teaching and writing. I think most teachers write. No, most teachers they write. They do research. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll ask you a controversial question. Did you think it was more salvific to become a creative writer than to become a priest?
Yeah. Well, let me see. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Because if I have any talent at all, let's say the talent of writing, that just didn't come from me. That didn't come from my teachers teaching me. That's also our Lord, our God. Now, everything we are comes from Him. For example, why was I born? Well, why was I born? No, who were my parents? Who chose my parents? No, it's all God. It's all God. Right now, I think right now we are very. Right now, I'm very unhappy about our election
Oh,
and the result of our election. Now,
why are you not happy, sir?
because of martial law, that family owes a lot to our people. Huh? They must they no they did not do well with us. No, and there I don't see any regrets on their part. No, they're still mayabang. No, yeah. But anyway, I'm not going to lose hope. I'm not going to lose hope. To lose hope is to give up. No, we must stand for truth. We must stand for truth. We don't want liars. We don't want corruption in government. We don't want thieves in government. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We will. There will. If they don't shape up, if they don't give us a good government, there will be EDSA 3, and I will be one of them. Yeah.
So is that part of when you got the award and then you knew that there was that was the result of the elections? Did you find any kind what was your reflection there? So now you became a national artist. You are a national artist, and but the meaning of national artist today is different from when it was established by Mrs. Marcos, right?
Yeah. But well, I'm sorry to say, as far as I'm concerned, he's a hypocrite. Yeah. Up to now, I cannot. They're still trying to change history, to revise our history. The writer, you see, that is the value of all writers. No, the value of all writers. There are our writings, our historians, all writers, historians, poets, no, scholars, all over. They are our people's memory. No, any country is only as strong as her people's memory. Yeah, we must not change our history. Don't revise. Do not falsify our history. No, yeah. If you are a hypocrite, you must change. You must regret being a hypocrite. Yeah, something like that.
So, sir, when you were, I always tell people that during martial law, one of the few things we could read was your book, The Formal Approach to Lyric Poetry.
Yeah.
But at that time, there was still repression, right?
Yeah.
How was being a writer at that time of repression? And of course, we couldn't publish as easily now at that time, right?
That is right. That is right. But I think there were silent protests. No, UP was Protestant during the Marcos years. Oh yeah, we had rallies in UP, and Marcos kept away. No, I mean he approved the soldiers keep away from UP. Yeah, although the army was also very tricky. Yeah, I had friends also who were soldiers. They would come to UP and they would visit me. No, they were students. Some of them would enroll as students, but they were spies. Yeah. Mga salbahe yung martial law na yan. No, there were spies. Yeah. They were enrolled. Soldiers were enrolled as students. I will not mention names, but one dean was a Marcos lapdog. Yeah. Even UP was corrupted by the martial law. Yeah. It was
Baka si Mookie, you want to ask a question about how martial law, how it was to be a writer during martial law?
Probably I would just like to ask around that time, were you already teaching na po?
Martial law.
Yeah, were you teaching
martial law? Let's see now. No, I don't think I was teaching. I was still a student. Yeah.
Oh, but how was it so aside from like you being always on guard, like how were you writing about things that was happening in your context also, or were you just always using your imagination as a writer?
Yeah. As I said, it's the poem or the short story, no? It is work of language and work of imagination, both, no? Mind and heart, no? Imagination, mind, and language. You work the language like the farmer works the soil to produce his crop. No? You have to have the right words in the right order. No? In other words, di ba? Parang the short story has to be a whole. No? Parang the parts of the story are somehow unified. No? It's a composition. It's like music. It's a composition. No? All the parts hold together. No? Yeah. So work of language, you work the, but it's also work of the imagination. You know why? When you are writing, you imagine the characters of your story. No? You imagine the father, the children, the mother, if it is a story of a family. No? You have to imagine a family. And you know what? With words and words, you make the father, you make the mother, you make the children come alive as human beings in the short story. They come alive in the short story. How? You have no other means but words and words. They speak, they shout, they cry, they think, they feel, they get angry. No, you make them come alive in the short story. Now, a poem can be only a thought. It can only be a thought. You make the thought come alive also in the poem. You make the thought come alive. How? How do you make a thought come alive in the poem? No? Is it meditation? No? Is it a meditation, a reflection, or is it a protest? It's a protest poem. It's a protest poem. Laban! No, fight on! Or is it joking? You're just making fun of people. You're making fun of people. It comes alive. It's funny. You make people laugh. No? See, you make it come alive. That's work of language. You work the language. So you have to have adequate mastery of the language. Yeah. You have no other means. Yeah.
What I'm hearing, sir, is that the mastery of the language in itself is an act of protest. It's an act of truth saying, because it's not enough to just say something, but you need to say it in a way that has impact and has a...
That's right. Oh, parang, if you look up the word craft is a skill. No? Craft is a skill. It also means mastery. Craft. Practice makes perfect. That's mastery. That's a skill. So the best writing is rewriting. You rewrite and rewrite. Practice makes perfect. Yeah. Lifetime is a lifetime work.
But
Yeah.
maybe Mookie would like to ask why you never felt that, that you would be a kind of rebel, but you wanted, like Jose Rizal, to write
Yeah.
your way out of the
Yeah. Yeah.
of the regime.
Yeah. Well, it's parang you're most alive when you are writing. Yeah, you're most alive when you are, kasi you talagang you have to go inside yourself. You're very alive. Yeah.
So, sir, do you think now you are national artist, and in a way you are you have a greater stature than the president who sits there for 6 years.
Yeah, when you enjoy your work, teaching or doing research or farming, or no, when you do it well, you are very alive. That's when you are most alive, when you enjoy your work. Honestly, when you enjoy your work, you are very alive.
So do you think you'll have you will have now you are really going to have a platform, the platform of the national artist, and the state will subsidize your writing now, right? Is that true?
Yeah, the university has been very generous to me.
Yeah.
When I ask for money because I need somebody to to help me with my work. Now, for example, if I'm making an anthology of people's short stories, I need somebody to get stories from the various magazines. I need money to hire somebody, diba? The university has been very supportive. Yeah, that's why I'm productive. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have another. Is James Wong there? James, do you have a question to Dr. Abad? James, are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, James is not there. Sir, let's talk about this habit of chores. Is this one of the reasons also for you becoming a national artist? This because I know this is a kind of it's an anthology of all the writings, the poetry, the best poetry, but from the earliest ones to the newest ones. Is this one of the main reasons for your becoming that? Because it's a contribution to the culture. It's not just your writing, but there's a kind of recognition that we have a culture of writing, that we have a culture of writing in English.
Yeah.
What's the reason for making this book, The Habit of Chores? Talking about that that you withdraw from language, that you become masters of language.
Well, I think the motivation was the teaching of literature. Yeah. Yeah. So I wanted our literature, not just American short stories, but also our own.
Yes.
Our own short stories, our own point. So I wanted broader knowledge of our short stories, our poetry in English. Yeah. And other writers in Tagalog have done that for Tagalog. Other writers in Cebuano have done that for Cebuano. No? We also write in English. So why not also the English short stories, poems, etc.? Yeah.
So it's a kind of assertion that we too have our own literature in English.
In English, yeah. In Spanish, yeah. In Spanish also. In Ilocano, yeah. And I suppose in Arabic, no? Yung our our brothers in Mindanao, no? Bicol, Bicolano. We have many languages. Oh, yeah, we have.
Yes. So magiting talaga. We are a great nation. We're a nation of writers. Ang problema lang nga siguro, there is repression. O there's lying. So yung mga, what is your message? Do you think that they will do that now? They will have their own cadre of writers who will revise history.
Oh, yeah. We have, for example, I think we have, for example, the National Commission of Art and Letters, hindi ba? Or that's government. So the government is also helping the artists, not just writers, but sculptors, painters, musicians, hindi ba? The arts and letters. Yeah. It's all our memory. A country is only as strong as our people's memory. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I know that every poet actually is a love poet anyway. It's a poet of love. Is there a favorite poem of love that you have? Or that you what is the poem that you of yours that you can share with us?
My own favorite poem, which I have memorized, is "I Teach My Child." It is my obsession with language because I hold every language as sacred. It is God-given. Language is God-given. In the beginning is the Word, and the Word is God. And
so, sir, can you share that poem with us this afternoon?
Which one?
The one about the child.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. When I recite my poem from memory. Okay. But however, in order not to embarrass myself and also embarrass the audience, I always have a código.
All right.
No? Okay. So the poem goes this way. I teach my child to survive. Let me interrupt myself. Now, if you look up the word to survive, as I told you, the dictionary is the writer's best friend. No? So I look up the word survive, soar over, vivere, live, to live. So to survive is to live over. So when you have an accident, you live over the accident. Kasi you're alive. You had an accident, but you're alive. To survive is to live over any trouble. No? Any trouble. You get COVID-19. Well, if you survive that, you live over COVID. Okay? So, I teach my child to survive. I begin with our words, the simple words first and last. They are hardest to learn. Words like home or friend or to forgive. These words are relations. They are difficult to bear. Their fruits are unseen. Or words that promise or dream. Words like honor or certainty or cheer. Rarest of sound, their roots run deep. These are words that aspire. They cast no shade. These are not words to speak. These are the words that offer both sky and earth to our care. If we speak them, but cannot meet their sound, they stand us still in our void, blank like the child with the uphill silence of his words climb. And so I teach my child to survive. I begin with our words, the simple words first that last.
Yes. We
Okay,
begin with the simple words, and they're the most difficult.
they're the most difficult. See, we have a saying, di ba? We have a saying, he is a man of his word. Yeah? That means he is an authentic human being. He is not a liar. He is a truth seeker. Because all our words, we are our words, and all our words speak true. A rose is a rose is a rose. A
Yes.
carabao is a carabao is a carabao, not a horse. A horse is a horse is a horse. All our words speak true.
So if Mookie were to write a love poem, you're saying you have to tell the truth. You have to tell the truth.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to say the truth.
Oh, yeah. I have a love poem on my wife.
Oh, okay. You want to share that with us, sir?
No, not now.
A line, any line.
I don't quite remember. Yeah, I don't remember. But anyway, it is inspired. Oh, there's a wonderful saying by Nelson Mandela. He speaks it in South African, and it's one word: Ubuntu.
Ubuntu, yes.
Ubuntu. And you know what it means in translation? I am because we are. I am because we are. You know what that means? Huh? Humanity is one community. Humanity is one communion. No? Humanity, our consciousness is evolving toward universal communion. That's why we have many languages, and languages borrow from each other. They converse. And you know what happens when you translate from one language to another? You are ferrying across the void of meaninglessness between languages, meaningfulness. That's what happens in translation. You are ferrying across the void between languages, the void of meaninglessness, meaningfulness. That's translation. And we are evolving toward communion, universal community. The UN, the United Nations, is an image of universal community. The UN. Yeah. Hindi ba?
Yeah.
And look at Russia. Look at Russia. Look at Ukraine. There's war in Ukraine because of Russia. Look at China. China is invading the Philippines. They're intruding into our islands. They're building military airports on our island in the West
And they
Philippine
are
Sea.
forbidding our fishermen to
Yeah,
fish
They
in
don't-
our waters.
they don't respect our national sovereignty. What is Duterte doing? What is Marcos doing with China? There, are we going to Are we going to be subject to China like Hong Kong is now subject to China? Oh, come on. Yeah.
So,
Government.
it seems that, yeah. So your role now as national artist is to speak against these and to say it as it is, because people have been very, very wary to articulate these things. Yeah.
Well, our army refused to surrender. They are not withdrawing from that island. I forget the name of the island, but they're
in
not
the West Philippine Sea. Yeah.
Oh, in the West Philippine Sea. We're not withdrawing. We're not retreating. Yeah, we stand our ground. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, what would be your letter to a young poet? And in every Atenean, there's a poet. So kahit si Mookie, I'm sure, tries to write poetry.
Yeah. I have many essays in my collection. No? And one of them is addressed to writers. No? It's a very short essay. I can provide you, Ateneo, through my daughter, Sian. I'll provide you a copy of that. To write is to get real. No? To write is to get real. Yeah. You draw from your consciousness of what is real, what is true, what is right, what is just. Yeah. To write is to get real. Yeah. I'll give you a copy through Sian. No? And
yes,
then
sir.
Maybe you can, well, I don't know, maybe you can distribute that to those who want to write. Yeah. To write is to get real. Yeah.
So it seems that the theme that we are hearing from you is the mastery of language is the way to really assert oneself as a writer, and to assert oneself as assert the truth.
Work of imagination.
Yes.
And work of imagination. To think well is to imagine well. You know why? Yeah. The word, any word, evokes an image. A rose. So you have image of a rose. No? Man, image of man. No, diba? The word evokes an image. The image lights up the meaning of the word.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's work of imagination.
And that will be our instrument as we go through the next 6 years. All right, sir. It is really such an honor. Unless Mookie, you have a final word to say to Dr. Abad.
I'm
Mookie.
Yes.
Yeah. What is your family name, Mookie?
I'm Mookie Borja po. I'm a communications major.
His mother is an English teacher, I think.
Yes,
yes.
I was gonna ask about that actually. Like, growing up around just like being around teachers my whole life. I was just wondering, like, what's your favorite thing about teaching students? Because I can really tell that you love just like educating people in the best way. So I don't know, I really enjoyed listening to you this afternoon.
Thank you, Mookie. Thank you. Yeah. In class, I talk a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want the students to understand what I am saying. Yeah.
Right. And you do a good job doing that. You really do.
Okay, Mookie, right on.
Thank you.
Real.
Thank you so much.
So, sir, this is such a distinct honor and privilege for having interviewed you and hearing your wisdom once again, as you shared it with us, even to me when I was still in college. And we really congratulate you for having been ordained as National Artist of the Philippines. So, with that, sir, thank you. Let me just. You want to give us your final words as we end our show this afternoon?
Well, there's two sayings that's a favorite of mine. No, the authentic human being, the authentic human being is the man or woman of his or her word.
18 hours.
That's the authentic human, the man of his word. Yeah. And then my favorite is Nelson Mandela. Ubuntu. I am because we are. Yeah. That's humanity. That's humanity. Yeah. I am.
Spoken like a true artista ng bayan.
Yeah. That's all.
All right. So with that, we bid you goodbye.
Thank
Till
you.
next week.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
All right.
So it was a great honor. It was a great honor. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So till the next time, Lundagin Mo, Beybeh.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye.
Meron? Ano nga ba ang meron? Paano nga bang mabuhay ng tapat sa meron? Don't you wish you can relive your philo classes? The terror teachers? The terrible oral exams? Or the even terrifying but liberating and life-changing aha moments? Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Here's your chance! Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Kasama ang mga pilosopong sina Jovi Miroy at Ron Capinding. Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Leaping upward, leaping forward. Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Leaping to greater heights, to greater wisdom, to greater magis. Lundag na, Ateneo! Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan,